Well, hello. Greetings. Happy Friday. Happy Valentine's Day to you. It's the Chief Chat, and as you can see, I'm not in my normal lair. I'm at home. This is the home office. Do you like my fancy painting? Yeah? Amazing what I've done with the place. Why am I here? Well, sometimes I do these from here. It's a more casual Chief Chat. Welcome, everybody. Good to see you. Pile on in. We got a great show for you today. So today, the reason I'm here is because my dog, Jesse, you know, the famous Jesse, writer of the 60-second sales hook, that Jesse, my beagle, my miniature beagle, we didn't have to rush her to the vet. Let's not be dramatic. And no, I didn't post any Facebook photos of me at the vet with a vague caption like, hang in there, Jesse. So everybody can go, whoa, what's going on? Thoughts and prayers. Not mocking people who look for moral support on Facebook. I just think it's become a bit saturated. People posting photos from some dramatic scenario. Anyway, Jesse's fine. I'm pretty sure it comes down to the official, my prognosis, that I think the vet used other words, ate something gross. She's a beagle, and hi Keith, what's up, buddy? If you guys know anything about beagles, they love to eat gross things. I think all hounds are this way. Anything they find on the ground, walking outside, they give it a quick sniff and chomp down. I don't know why things they find on the ground that appear to be to me either excreted or dead would seem like a good snack. But that just goes to show that we probably don't know as much about how dogs think as we think we do. So that's my new snack food, Alex. That's my favorite. That's my favorite Valentine's candy. Dead excretions. Oh God. So anyway, Jesse is okay, but you know what happens. Someone's ill, you're ill, your dog's ill. What do? You start Googling. And of course, the one thing that came up was the, what was it called? Pavlo, not Pavlov. Yeah, Parvo. Thank you, Alex. And I was like, oh man, she's got all the symptoms of that. Lethargia, all the gross stuff. Anyway, seems to be she's fine. She's just a little stunned from being in the vet, and she had an injection, an IV, and also they microdosed her just so she could get more in touch with herself. So she's got some. I'm kidding. That didn't actually happen. All right, so great one today. Thanks for being here. Let's get into it. We got some cool stuff happening inside of Copy Chief that I want to share with you today. As you know, what do I love in Valentine's Day? I love you. I love the Chiefs. I love this community. Of course, I love my wife, married 20 years, who is actually also fighting off an illness. And she's upstairs sleeping, resting. And Michelle and I have always skipped Valentine's Day. I don't know about you. If you're in like long-term committed relationships, we always sort of scoffed at what we call it a Hallmark holiday, Valentine's Day. We like to say we celebrate love all the time, and we often go out and have nice dates and things. And so, I don't know, snooty committed couples like to scoff at the idea of Valentine's Day. And so that's what we've always done. And so we don't have plans tonight. We're going to lay low, maybe watch a movie, cozy up on the couch together. But there is lots of love flowing inside of Copy Chief, as always. And we're going to cover some of those things today. Always trying to make it a better place for you, the members. And if you're not yet a member, you definitely want to check out copychief.com/join is how you can find out everything that's going on in Copy Chief. Here's how we do it. It's always a good time to join Copy Chief because you get amazing things. First of all, 30 plus trainings on what's working in copy. Core copy training, stuff you'll always need to know that'll never change. What we call the money skills, which we're always adding to, which is the most in-demand copy skills, the stuff that moves the needle on the sales, in the funnels. So if you want to be a more sought after, more in-demand, more specialized copywriter who's commanding higher fees with your expertise, then money skills is where it's at. So we've got core skills, the fundamentals, we get the money skills, the needle movers, and we have many guest trainings, the best of the best in the business, teaching us how they do what they do at the highest level. Todd Brown, Ryan Levesque, Laura Belgray, Mike Renard, Chris Orzkowski, Rachel Mazza, just people who specialize email, Facebook ads, advertorial, long form sales copy. We got Evaldo Albuquerque in there. We've heard from Mike Ward, formerly of Money Map. Mike Ward retired recently, I just discovered. So congratulations to Mike on his retirement. And so anyway, lots of cool stuff in there. But here's been the thing with Copy Chief and what my mission to improve was this year. Of course, you get the, unlimited critiques. The community is amazing. When you join Copy Chief, you know what happens. Once you get settled in and you log in and you come in and you see the dashboard and you get an eyeball on the forms, you're then greeted by an ambassador. Do you know about the ambassadors? They are the A team of Copy Chief. These are top level working pro copywriters who, despite my efforts to try to formalize the ambassador role, insist. They do it out of love. You want to talk about a Valentine? That my Valentine would go to the ambassadors. They do a tremendous amount of work to help new members and existing members use the form better. And beyond the duty of it, which is, hey, please greet every member. Please make sure that no thread goes unanswered. You'll see that the ambassadors are the ones always jumping into the feedback threads to give feedback. And these are volunteers. They're volunteering their time, not getting paid to do this, because they love this community. They love the idea of helping people just do better work. All right, manage business better, be better copywriters. They remember what it was like when they started and they needed help. A lot of them remember what it was like when they joined Copy Chief and felt intimidated to post at first, or, insecure about it. And they kind of look back and laugh now that it took them sometimes months to post the first time. And they say, well, I don't want somebody else to have those unnecessary inhibitions that I had. So let me go ahead and help them feel comfortable right away. And that's what they do. So the ambassadors are amazing. And we all work together, not only, every day to try to serve you as an active member and get you around the forums and get your copy critiqued and those kinds of things. We always have these conversations. In fact, we'll have one again today at 2:00. We get together and we say, how do we make Copy Chief better? What more can we do? Of course, there's always many things you can do. But 3 things we've instituted recently that we've all been working on together behind the scenes. And I got a big old tip of the hat to my man, Mike Lucas, who's going to hop on and join me here in a second and show you some of the work that he has spearheaded. He's a very humble cat and doesn't like to take credit for a lot of stuff. That's pretty true across the thread of, all of Copy, of all the chiefs, right? No one's here looking for glory. We're all just looking to be cool and help each other and get better. But Mike has done a tremendous amount of work in there to help us start to reorganize the threads so they're easier to navigate. To help us, he created a glossary with help from the community and the ambassadors, which is really awesome. A living, breathing glossary of direct response copywriting terms, which I don't think has ever existed before. And us as a community will keep adding to and growing as we go. So this will be the the end-all be-all glossary of direct response. And also, what else, Mike? This is the great one. Onboarding. So, this is the big thing with when somebody buys a service, an online service, right? You've got to have a communication with them, conversations, bring them in to show them what they bought and how to use it, right? And that's tricky because we've all done this where we've paid for something, seemed really cool in the moment, and then we failed to ever use it like we should, or even log into the damn thing in the first place. And so that's just inevitable in any digital product. That is going to happen. It's going to be a percentage of people who just struggle either technologically to use what you got, or they struggle mentally with, they got 10 million things going on and they've bought too many programs and they're not using it. The thing about Copy Chief, look, we're all sort of information hounds, especially as copywriters. We're high on the fact finder, right? We like to do our research. We like to learn things. We like to know what's going on. That's important. So I don't like to hammer people for buying too many products and courses. I get that you want to learn everything. The thing about Copy Chief, though, it's not another course. It's not another thing you have to do. Copy Chief is a supplement to everything else you're doing. It could be the only thing you do. If you're a copywriter and you want to learn how to write copy and you want to get damn good at it and you want to do the work and flex your copy muscles, develop your copy muscles, we got a million ways for you to do that in Copy Chief with help from the community. So that makes us like nothing else. So I stand by that. If all you did as a copywriter was join Copy Chief, you'd be in the top 10% of all copywriters, bar none. You have all the resources in here you need to do that. However, you're probably going to buy other courses and do other things, but I don't want people to think that, oh, I could either join Copy Chief or do this other thing. It's not the same. You see, you can go take someone else's course. We've got special sections in Copy Chief that study E5, Todd Brown's E5, Ryan Levesque's Ask Method, right? Special subject. Angie Coley, who is our Queen Ambassador, just so happens to be the Copy Chief for Jeff Walker in Product Launch Formula. So probably no other copywriter on earth more educated about how product launch formula works than Angie Coley. That's not saying that we are Jeff Walker's official copywriting community, but good luck finding anybody else who knows as much as PLF as we do here in Copy Chief. So point being, we are here to supplement, make you the best copywriter you can be, no matter what you're studying, where you want to focus. And most importantly, if you don't know where to focus, that's what we're here to help you do. And that's what the money skills do. So a few things I want to show you. Number one, 750words.com. That's a cool, you got to be doing the doing. I would add to that, James Leparle, do that. I know I was watching Angie do that in Copy. We were in Austin together, the supergroup last week. And Angie is determined to never miss a day of her 750 words. So I saw her late at night filling out, I got to get to my 750 words and using our new toy to do it, which maybe I'll tell you about in a minute. Our new word processing toy. So here's the thing about developing as a copywriter. And I just wrote about this in an email that will go out Sunday. 2 words, stage time. There are some things that you can practice in private, right? Like an instrument, for instance. You could pick up an instrument, get a home study course, let's say violin or piano, any instrument, any instrument. You could get plenty of learning material to open up in a locked room, and no one would ever have to hear you play but you, and you could master the instrument. In fact, surely that's happened many times, right? People, probably genius level musicians, we've never heard play. Right? That has to be true. I'm sure it's true. Writing, you could potentially be very good at, say, fiction writing, and no one might ever read your stuff until you say died and they found it, right? I think of John Kennedy Toole. Is that his name? Am I saying that right? Confederacy of Dunces. You guys know that book? Didn't get published until after I believe he committed suicide, sadly. He was a writer from New Orleans, and his mother made it her mission to get his book published after, posthumously. And it's a brilliant, brilliant book. However, if you want to work as a copywriter, you cannot only practice privately, you've got to practice publicly, right? You've got to put the work out there and get feedback on it. Obviously, ultimately, you've got to test it in the real world with the buyers, and that's the ultimate judge of whether something's good or not, because it earns money. As my friend John Carlton says, money is applause in business. Money is applause. And so when you do something and a lot of people buy it, that's them going, bravo, bravo, badass, love that thing you do. Do more of that. Encore, upsell. So you've got to write, you got to practice writing every day in a thing like 750 words. Sure, that's a cool app. Keep a journal, however you do it, go to the beach and write in the sand. It doesn't matter as long as I firmly believe as a writer, every single word you write makes you a better writer. I think of it like a sculptor chipping away at the clay, right? Every single word is a new chip off the block of granite or whatever, and you're just chipping and you're finding what's in there. Every single word you write makes you a better writer. That's the beautiful thing about the fact that we've all fallen in love with this writing thing. And now that we want to do it persuasively, that requires stage time. It isn't just about the joy, the love of writing. It's about, is this affecting other people? Am I being persuasive with this? So that's why we create workshops and things for you to do inside of Copy Chief, so you can see how you're doing with your writing. With that, I want to talk quickly about the monthly mini workshop. Very cool, the MMW. We did our first one in January, and congratulations to Cindy Childress. I don't know if Cindy's here, but Cindy was the winner. And is Cindy here? She's not here. Hi, Candace. Good to see Candace Lazar here. Hello, how are you? My man David Power in the house. What's up? And so Cindy, so the prompt, so every month we'll give you a prompt and we'll say, go crazy and write about it. Oftentimes it'll be about the training we just did, or maybe it'll just be something kind of random. And so last week, this is again the brainchild of Mike Lucas and Laura Fry, our amazing support person. Laura, is Laura here? And so you're going to get to win. Laura's here. Hi, Laura. You're going to win prizes. You're going to accumulate points when you enter the mini workshops, and that's going to lead. Think of it like a Dave and Buster's kind of a thing, right? You're going to accumulate points, and that's going to lead. You can cash in those points for things down the road. You can get Copy Chief t-shirts, which cannot be bought, only one. And by the way, here's the OG, the original Copy Chief t-shirt right there. You see it's nice and faded. This is probably four years old right here. I don't know if we had t-shirts the first year. But anyway, all kinds of cool stuff. And of course, it just feels really good to win. And here's the cool thing. If you guys look at the monthly workshop, let's just take a dip. I think I have it open here. Here's what I loved about it. I was looking through these again this morning. Oh yeah, we got this month in Copy Chief. Here we go. Okay. So first of all, congratulations to Cindy for winning, but there's more than just, and by the way, we're not choosing the winner of this. You guys are choosing the winner. So this is community driven. So Cindy Childress won for original submission, And then critique, it's a tie between Craig Skulkade, I'm going to say. Skulkade. Tell me I have that right. I'd be so impressed with myself if I did. And Jody Robertson. And so everybody gets points. We will have soon an official sort of explanation of how these points work. But just for right now, know that it is based on likes. Okay. So if you see, we explain what it is. This last month, it was a Bluetooth garden speaker, and you had to write an email as shown in Laura Belgray's training in January about how she writes emails that entertain and engage and convert. And then Cindy was the first to jump in, wrote a fantastic email, and came away the winner. You can see that she has 8, 9, 10, 11 likes on hers. Now, something there, right? Here's what's going to happen. What's going to be interesting. We're going to start to learn to game this a little bit. You really savvy Chiefs, active members are going to have an advantage in these because obviously I think being first is going to help you win, or being early to post, right? Because all the action happens early, and of course you're the first post. So it's if someone's just kind of tooling around and just checking out this thread, and they read your email first and they dig it, boom, they're gonna like it, right? If you come after that and you're like on the second or third page, less chance of it getting read. So here's tip number 1 that I've learned after 1 month of doing the monthly mini workshop: get it in early, get it in early. And that's just a good thing to develop as a freelancer, is being fast, not overthinking it, just put it out there. And it's all good. So that's happening. So this month we've got another one coming up. Is it Monday? I think it launches. Tell me, Mike or Laura, is it Monday that it launches? And it's going to be based on a prompt. And we did this exercise in Austin. It's with the super group. And by the way, if you don't know what the super group is, that is sort of, I don't want to call it a mastermind because it's much more involved than that. It's my coaching group. It's my group of only 10, 12 people that I coach individually and as a group, small group coaching at the highest level. It is, this group's been together for 3 years now, and it's unbelievable the things we've been able to accomplish together. Chris Orzakowski, Rachel Mazza, Angie Coley, Melanie Warren, superstars. Nicole, Patrick Kenny just joined. Mike Renard is in the group. Brian McCarthy, who I'm forgetting. Allison Carpio. I mean, just an incredible group who's out there kicking ass at the highest levels. This is, phase 5 and 6 copywriters, if you're familiar with the freelancer's journey timeline. And so we were all together in Austin, Texas last week for our mastermind. We did it differently this time. I rented an Airbnb. And the thing about, and we just all stayed there, it had a blast. It was so cool when you put a community together like that, to see like somebody would just, we would eat and get back to business, and somebody would take it upon themselves to do the dishes. Somebody different every time. Like nobody had to say, hey, let's get a list together and everybody sign up for a chore. It was like none of that stupid stuff. Like the community just took care of itself. It was really cool that way, and so we did a writing exercise, day 2. I don't have it with me, but I always give the supers gifts when we get together. And this time it was a Neo. You've seen me use this. It's the little green keyboard that you can do nothing else on but type. It's just got a 5-inch window. And I just love this thing. Mike Renard gave me one last year, and I've used it a lot, and I really love it. And so I gave all the supers one, and because I thought they would love it too. But I was also excited for us to sit and just do a free writing exercise together. So we all sat around on the second morning, and I just gave us a simple prompt, and we all wrote for 10 minutes, no editing. You weren't allowed to stop writing and just see what comes out, right? And by the way, that's a great way to nurture email content, right? You just say, you set a timer. If you're familiar with Natalie Goldberg's Writing Down the Bones, this is where I got this exercise way back in the day. Me and my comic friends used to sit around and do this. Hers was 5 minutes, and you'd actually handwrite it, and you had to keep your editor hand off the page. That was the rule, because they say that, say if you're right-handed, your left hand is connected to your logical brain, and it would, which seems wrong because I don't, anyway, your other hand is sort of editing and being logical, and your writing hand needs to just flow, right? So she has some brain philosophy around why you keep the other hand off the page completely, and it seemed to work. And so it's just really fun to free write, and it's even more fun, again, stage time, to have somebody to share it with, to somebody to read it to, because you write differently. It's a little performance, right? And so we did that, and I didn't, not everybody read theirs, but man, it was really fun to see what people came up with. One person, what they wrote was so emotional to them that they asked somebody else to read it to the group. They couldn't, they said they would cry if they tried to read it. And it was very emotional. And that was just really cool thing to do. So we're going to do that same exercise with you guys in Copy Chief this month. That is going to be the writing, why can't I get the name of this thing right? The mini workshop, the monthly mini workshop. There we go. MMW, monthly mini workshop. Something about that word does not want to sit in my brain. Monthly mini workshop. And so watch for it in copywriting challenges and workshops. And the prompt, there'll be a 3-word prompt, the same one we used with the supers. And you'll write free for 10 minutes, free write for 10 minutes in private. And then here's what you're going to do. You're going to take that as sort of a first draft, and then you're going to use that to inspire an email. Okay. Not a sales email, but a nurture email. Do you know the difference? A nurture email? A nurture email is where you're just sharing something valuable. You're teaching lessons, often with story, and there's no big call to action at the end of it. It's not there to sell a product. It's not even really there to get a click. It's just there to further develop your relationship with your subscriber, your reader. Okay. So if you happen to see, I just sent out 2 emails last week on Sunday and Thursday, telling what I call the Chet story about one of my greatest hell gigs as a comic, when I was invited to play a tennis club. And I wrote in great detail about how that all went down. And it was a really interesting exercise for me, and got a great response from people who read it. And so that is nurture email. I wasn't there to sell you anything. I wasn't there to try to convince you to join Copy Chief or do anything else. Just hopefully find some value in what I was writing, share of myself, so that we could have a deeper relationship. So that's what a nurture email is. So you're going to take this 3-word prompt that you'll get when you see the exercise go live. I don't want to give everybody an unfair head start. 3-word prompt. You're going to free write privately for 10 minutes, set a timer, take what you got, use that as inspiration for a nurture email, because obviously you won't be able to begin and end an email in 10. You might, if you think of it that way, you might actually just rip it off in 10 minutes and go, that was awesome, I'm just posting that. You can do that. But chances are you'll take that as the foundation and use your favorite parts of it to influence the nurture email you write. Cool? So that's what the monthly workshop. And did Mike or James, Mike or Laura answer, is that happening? Does that start? Oh, April Dykeman. Thank you. April Dykeman is, of course, in the super group. Mike, you'll get story prompt. Mike gave away the story prompt. Okay, that was not good. And do it. Okay, Mike. When does it start? Maybe we're going to have to change the prompt now. 21st and ends on the 26th. All right. Speaking of Mike, I want to get Mike on right now. And I want to show you guys some really cool stuff. That was a sample prompt. Yes, everybody. That was not the real prompt. But we'll have to find a different one. That was the prompt I was going to use, frankly, because that's the one we used in Austin, and it was a really good one. Last we spoke. was going to be the prompt, but Mike just ruined it. So now it'll be different. Mike's too honest. That's his problem. He doesn't understand that sometimes you get you got a whole thing close to the
Mike
vest.
just screwed that up. Let's get him live.
I wanted him to explain himself. And
Right.
by the way, two bald guys with black t-shirts and different shades of green room.
Right. It's well, you're probably first, so everybody probably thinks I'm just imitating you, but we all know that I'm older. So
You're older. You have beautiful blue eyes. I'm not. No problem saying that. That's a distinctive feature of yours, and you have enough chin to go beard free, unlike me.
I appreciate that. Well, I'd like to, on this Valentine's Day, compliment you physically. Your beard looks perfectly blended between gray and
Nice.
whatever you added.
Yeah.
And your eyebrows match. So that's something that we all look for. We look for, for consistency on your
Symmetry.
face.
Yeah. It's helpful.
And I like, as opposed to my big block head, you have a slender head that might even be able to slip through a picket fence and sort of look around in your neighbor's yard without even hurting your ears. So
that's true. That does come in handy.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, you too, my friend. Thank you. You're my round-headed comedic. And are you wearing a robe? Is that a robe?
This is my smoking jacket.
Oh, okay.
I have a velour smoking jacket that I wear in the house because when I write, smoking.
But I know you don't.
It's a robe.
Smoke.
It's a bathrobe. Whatever.
It's a bathrobe. Okay.
Whatever.
You really are.
That's the beauty of being a freelancer is you can sit here. Like, there's no way I would have ever worn this as a comic on stage. There's no way any of the jobs I had I could wear a robe to it. But as a freelancer, I'm just like, man, it's a little chilly today.
It's comfy. I'm putting this on. What do I care?
You know, this is Texas, man. It's cold here.
It's known. It's known for its frigid temperatures.
So,
and it's never champion football teams. Okay, so
wow.
Not that you care. You're bronze.
Wait, hold on.
That's even worse. Oh, what is that? Is that some kind of?
There you go. Sorry, I didn't realize that wasn't showing.
That's beautiful.
That's
there's levels of fandom, and anybody willing to take a seat cushion and stick it against the door.
Seat cushion. That's a plaque that was given to me by the team for the excellent writing.
No, it looks padded.
It's the video. It does a little weird thing with the dimensions of it, but it's definitely a plaque. It's definitely
commemorative Mike Lucas plaque.
Or it could be a butt pad. I don't know. My sister gave it to me for my birthday and wrote on the back of it. So there's the whole note on the back of this.
Oh, so it's personal. It's
right?
nice.
It really is. It's sweet.
Okay, so Mike, in all seriousness, and I've told you this privately, I got to sing your praises publicly. You've just been doing so much to make Copy Chief a better place, bro. Like all the ambassadors do, like everybody on the team, like all the members do. But you have this special ability, and I guess it helps that you're on the payroll somewhat, and that you can justify the time to make for this.
True.
But you're really great at taking a lot of information, distilling it down, and making it very consumable. And I think that is a special gift that not everybody has. I certainly don't. And man, thank you for all the kick-ass stuff you've been doing in Copy Chief to make it flow.
My pleasure. Yeah, it's been fun. We just vamped up that the forums and rearranged them. So they look. It's a lot sharper and here we go. Yeah, so, if you go.
Let's just look. Let's just go back to the homepage we've all known and love. Private coaching is probably only available for me to see.
Now I'll walk you through it real quick. What we did, what happened was this general discussion is I call it like the living room of Copy Chief forums, where you all go in and we make plans or whatever that, and that was getting too busy because we were making plans in there and we were also having discussions in there. So what we did is we took all our plans and everything that's going on currently in Copy Chief and we moved it down 3 notches there to this month in Copy Chief.
Yeah, love that.
And you can see that. And so then now
right here, this month in Copy
Chief, truly just general discussion where you sit around and you have topics and questions answered and topics talked about. And then when you click on month. Yeah, there you go. And then this is where the February monthly mini workshop will be. This is where the upcoming trainings and the trainings we just had will be. So month is sort of loosely,
yeah,
like,
loosely month. Yeah.
But now we have it all in one spot. So now you can sort of see what's up.
Right. So this will be moved out of here, say next week or whenever we start the next one. So this will be the February monthly mini workshop. The training we do with Mike Renard, which again, loosely a month, will be March 5th. The replay of that will likely go here. Am I correct?
Yep, that's right. And then it'll all go here. And then eventually when the month goes up, it'll be put into its home in the rest of the forum, where like the monthly mini workshop home, that'll go there, and we'll collect those. And then that way, anyone who's new, a new member can come in and go, oh, well, you know, I can check out the January, February, March monthly mini workshops and sort of, you know, get caught up.
And so general discussion is now free of all that clutter.
Exactly. We also moved on the top.
My blood pressure goes down just logging into this now.
Good books up here. We moved, we had a separate thing for books, and this is really the only part that people were using and discussing. So now that's in general discussion. It makes sense to have a book discussion in general discussions, and that's up above there.
Very cool.
And yeah.
And this is, I love that.
Got any facts to give?
So,
yeah, well, that was, without going into the whole story, Angie Coley, one of our the Queen Badassador, answered a question for somebody who said I guess revenue sharing. They had a question about that, and so she shared some threads with that person, and I saw that and I was like, wow, we got to do that for more questions. And so so what we did is I asked to the Badassadors and the members, do you have any frequently asked questions that you can share? And then we're going to use that to create a area. And if you go back to the forums, I'll show you, they can't see this yet, but it's nothing that they can't see now. But right there, you can see facts answered here. And so this is where this is going to appear.
Oh, cool.
And then there's it's new member facts, copywriting, frequently asked questions, freelancing, marketing. And then Jimmy, Parent. He came up with this one. What problem are you trying to solve? And it's sort of I'm trying to do an email. I'm trying to do that. And so we're going to try to use threads to help answer these questions.
Man, so good.
Yeah.
Is this helpful, everybody? Like say hell yeah and have mercy.
And then we also did is we moved out of the general discussion anything about the chief chats. We made its own little section down here.
Yeah.
So you can join the next chief chat right here, and then the live chief chat replays. You can go back and watch. If you're a member that just joined and you're like, man, I wish I could see all the. Well, here they are. They're every single one that we've ever done is right here, and they're all worth watching because they all have valuable information in them, and usually there's a copy breakdown that you do at the end in the hot seat.
Correct. Why'd we take out the Dan Kennedy one? You didn't like my Dan Kennedy handlebar mustache?
I didn't take that one out, but I'm not sure. I think maybe because he lived.
Oh, really? Is that why we?
I don't know. I'm guessing, because
it could be, yeah.
I mean, that's a good news. It's
a good reason to, yeah.
There's no better.
I'll gladly sacrifice, yeah.
But it was a very emotional thread. I think that's maybe, I don't know. That was done by support. So you'll have to.
That's interesting. Yeah. Makes sense.
To fill
you're seeing behind the scenes. Sometimes we make decisions about trying to be logical. All right, cool. So love it.
And then the last thing we added, there's now the mic check is a.
The mic check. We'll get to that in a second. But real quick, another thing, another Mike Lucas pioneered thing of greatness is the Chief Chat replays. You not only get the full replay, but you can come back and we chunk these down. And so you'll get my crazy rant at the beginning, then you'll get best things, everything I'm talking about broke down. Yeah. And then you'll get, when you guys come on and do best things, we'll see that, right? There's, we're talking about Laura and different things. There was our buddy David Maswery doing the best thing. There was our man, Jay Jackson on the hot seat.
Yeah, that was great. That was fun.
That was a good one. And so, and by the way, bonus for you, if you come on and do a best thing, we will send you the clip of your best thing so you can go and use that as authority content in your world. Really cool. And then you said, where's the mic checks?
When you go down into the freelancing section, now we moved that up so that it's a little closer to the top. And here's, there's a place where you could talk, going pro, you talk freelancing stuff. That's a safe zone where businesses can't see what you post there. So if you have questions that are sort of like, if you're new, or if maybe you're experienced, but you don't want anyone to know that you don't know this yet, you put it in there, and then nobody who you would work for or do copy for will see that. It's just us, just the, your fellow copywriters. And then there's a way to create your first offer and your progress journals, and which is a great challenge to do. And then the mic check is what we just added, and that's just sponsored by me. It's freelancer advice and humor. And so we just go through, and a lot of these topics are what you and I cover in our on our podcast. It's going to be upcoming, and it's just different ways to approach the many hats you have to wear as a freelancer.
Yeah. And man, these are all really good, Mike. I love these articles. This one I thought was just so great. Because, you went through a really detailed example of the trading bad problems for good ones. Is the concept that, sometimes we don't notice that things are getting better until we look back and we go, man, I used to worry about that. And so you looked at it from your perspective as a comic and go, the first time I had to go up, I had all these issues.
Right.
In this context, as time went on, I had the same issues, but completely better problems. Right.
But still problems.
Right. But still problems to be solved and addressed.
But way better problems.
And so the beautiful message there was that you're always going to have problems. It's life. Life is, we're here to basically solve puzzles, day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year. And when you have help, and when you have, it makes it a lot easier when you have context. And it's important to look back sometimes and remember, I'm solving much better problems these days. Life's gotten good.
Yeah, that's true.
Very cool. Anything else we want to look at specifically here?
I think that's just about everything we've done. And I'm not sure I'm hoping to get that frequently asked questions section up and running in the next month. And then you'll all of a sudden it'll pop up. We'll make it visible for everybody. And then what I want to offer to everyone is, it's an ongoing breathing thread. I want
facts to give.
No, actually, that's the other one that's out on the main one down.
Oh, this one.
Right there. Yeah.
Okay.
So what I want to allow people to do is just, if you can answer any of these with a thread that you notice, put it in the comments, and I'll update the thread. If you can have new frequently asked questions for each of those topics, add it in the comments, and I'll add it into the thread. So it'll be an ongoing, living, breathing document that we'll keep updating as time goes on, because new threads are created, and then those might answer some of these questions that we don't know about right now.
Yep. So. Yeah, fantastic. And so it's just a way for us to kind of do what we do all the time, which is give each other value, help each other get clarity on things and do things better. But now we'll be organizing those things as we go. So the cream will keep rising to the top, and that cream will be easier to find. Whereas before you were like, look at this giant city. I wonder if there's a cream shop in there.
Yeah, and I wanted to say, you started talking about the onboarding sequence and sort of drifted off to a different place, which was equally valuable. But I wanted to just finish off that thought, which is, we're what we realized very quickly was that before, we weren't telling people all the stuff they just bought into. I mean, you just bought this awesome membership. What does it involve? And now we're going to put everyone on this automatic sequence that you can obviously opt out at any point, but each email tells you about something different in Copy Chief that you've just gotten, a specific training, a specific exercise that we do, the job boards, and it just goes into all the different things you now have access to. And it's one of those email sequences that I think you should save and put aside, so that when you do have time, you can just go pop and look through them if so you still have them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sorry, I did forget to circle back to onboarding.
That's fine. And it's like, there's like dozens of them. I mean, it's like, I think there's over 40 emails, like 40 different things that we're sharing with you. There's so many. I say it's like the Mall of America for copywriters.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And this is And the onboarding will sort of be like the directory board. It's like
Yeah,
you walk
exactly.
up and you go, oh, good,
Yeah.
men's shoes right over there. Very cool. All right. Thank you, Mike, man. I really appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. I'm going to let you go. Shower. I love it. Okay. So best things. I did mention this up front, but if you're a Chief Chat regular, you know that we always do best things. What does that mean? It's where you come on and you share, like we do here, something that's working great for you. What's the best thing you've learned or implemented, discovered in your life or business in the last, say, week or so, last month? And you just come on and you say, Kev, the best thing I learned recently was this. Here's where I learned it. Here's why it was important to me. Here's how I applied it. And then you end with an if-then statement. If you're in this situation, then try this. Who would like to come on and share a best thing? Who's got something that happened recently that really stood out as a bit of a breakthrough, a head clearing, an action item, something you know you're going to be using in your business going forward, and you can sum up in about 2 minutes for, if you have one, please raise your hand. Oh, James, awesome. Fantastic. All right, James, please raise your hand because that'll make it much easier for me to find you. You'll move to the top of the attendee list. Thank you. All right, cool. I'm running a little late, so let's just do James. And then I'm going to... Our friend James from Detroit, Rock City. There he is.
All right.
What's up, my man? Good to see you.
Hey, good to see you.
How's everything?
Oh, things are good. It's cold here. We've got snow finally.
Oh, finally. You've been waiting on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess when
it's
you
way
live
more
in
nervous. It's scary getting on camera here.
Is it really? No, you look great and your set's good and you're bundled up. This will help ease us into it. I got to tell you something. You were kind enough to bring me a bottle of gin when you came to Copy Chief Live. It's called Two James. And I thought, well, isn't that nice? He went to you even documented this experience for me of you going to get the gin. And I didn't take any of it for granted. I thought it was super cool that you did it, but I did not realize a true copywriter mindset. The reason you were sharing so much about this with me is that this is a super exclusive gin. And it happens to be an incredibly delicious gin that became the hit of our family around the holidays.
Oh, man.
And so everybody, first of all, just loved the bottle. Like, wow, this is a beautiful bottle. And I was like, yeah, James brought it to me and it's this great place in Detroit. And everybody was fascinated and would read the story on the bottle. Goes to show you 60-second sales, so it should be everywhere. And then we tasted the gin and we're like, oh my God, it's the best gin we've ever tasted. And we got to get more of it. And we start looking like, oh, we got to order. I don't believe you can order it or have it delivered. Am I correct? Like you have to walk into the store like you did to even get this gin.
Ooh, I don't know. I know they have it at a few stores locally, but because I live here, I've had no reason to try to order it. I just go pick it up.
Well, I think that may be the case that I can't have it delivered here, which I certainly would be doing if I could. So then this became the coveted, the sacred bottle of gin because we're like, we can't get any more of this until maybe James comes to Copy Chief Live again next year. One of us gets in the car and drives to Detroit. And so then we were like, special occasions only. We're like doling out this gin like, it's the holy water. So thank you for the gin. And also for completely teasing us with ever having more of it.
Oh, you're welcome. I'll have to get a separate piece of luggage just for my Two James that I bring down next year.
Man.
Or this year.
I will supplement that journey. Cool, brother. All right, so let's hear it. Now that we're eased in and you're feeling cozy, what is the best thing you've learned recently?
Awesome. Yeah. So this is a quick one. It's a tool that I came across online while writing some email copy. And this tool right here, I can share my screen. That'll make it a little bit easier. It's a quick way to get into your customer's head, as well as find words that they would use, or words that you can use that would resonate with them depending on what it is that you're writing about. So it's really simple, wordstouse.com with hyphens in between the words. And it doesn't have everything, but it's got a lot. And so if you're writing, say, we've got Easter coming up, right? If you're writing something themed about Easter, you can go find the Easter section and it'll give you different types of words as well as phrases that are related to that theme, right? So I was writing an Easter email recently, and it really gets your mind thinking about, okay, what are all the different ways to play with words that are Easter themed, like excellent, so on and so forth, right? Talking about bunnies and whatever else.
Exactly. Right. That'll skyrocket those open rates.
Yeah, so I don't go around talking about everything being excellent and bunnies and eggs and things. So that really helped.
Yeah, and it's a way to get the mind flowing. Like this is why I love dictionaries, thesauruses, things like that. Sometimes just reading through them sparks ideas.
Bingo. Yep. So we've got the same thing with if you're doing mustaches and beards. It's a quick example. I mean, I don't know how many of these you would actually use, but like you said, it kind of gets the ideas flowing.
Yeah, love it.
Emotions like anger.
Oh yeah. Liar to cheat.
And men.
Lowest of the low. I love it.
If you're doing men versus women, you got stuff like that too. So a quick sampling of it. And so my if-then statement then is if you want to quickly get into your audience's head and quickly bring to mind words that would resonate with them, check out wordstouse.com.
Brother, you killed it, man. That was perfectly executed and a really excellent tool. So thank you. Did I just send you away by accident? No.
I was done.
Okay, cool. Thank you, man. That was really great, James. And I know you've been really super active in the forums too. So thanks for all you do, man, being a great member of the community. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. And thanks to everybody in Copy Chief.
All right, James. Talk soon, brother. Now I'm thirsty for gin and writing. It all goes together. See, James, that's a true writer. He hooks you up with delicious booze and then shows you how to more easily connect your thoughts once you've had a couple. That's a copywriter tip right there. All right, cool. Fantastic. We got a hot seat today, and forgive me, I got to go back to my rundown because I don't think, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong. Something else Mike does. Mike's the guy you want to contact if you want a hot seat. You can PM Mike Lucas here inside of Copy Chief. He helps us assemble these very chief chats and gives me a rundown, including the hot seat. Today is Brenna McGowan. I want to make sure Brenna is here with us. Brenna, are you here? You are. Hi, Brenna. Brenna, are you cool coming on camera and hanging out with me for a minute while we look at your copy? Yes? Awesome. All right, cool. Fantastic. And I know Brenna, I think, is new to the community. Hi, Brenna. How are you? I'm going to unmute you. That should work. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Good to see you. Full of life and energy. It's fantastic.
Getting pumped up.
Well, it's great to have you. And I'm going to let you explain what you're up to and the copy we're looking at and all that behind it. So take it away. By the way, is this up for review anywhere else in Copy Chief? Is it in like a?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. Mike just linked it to me directly. So I haven't seen any of the conversations going on in that thread, which sometimes can be a good thing because I'm not now swayed by that. So I'm just going to give you my pure ideas and you can add that to the other great advice you're getting inside the forum. Okay.
Great. Thank you. I'm super excited. I'm a new Copy Chiefer. So I thought I'd initiate myself by doing this.
Great.
But so primarily I'm an email copywriter and I help people with Instagram captions. I started a membership back at the end of September or so where we help people with their content creation needs. So I partnered with a professional photographer, and our unique selling proposition is that, you know, you kind of get the best of both worlds in our membership for people that are trying to create content for Instagram, sending out regular emails, because you have the eyes of a professional photographer, and me as a copywriter. However, I have never written a sales page. So this is my first stab at one, and I don't think that it's converting as well as I'd like to, or I feel like there's something missing from my messaging. But before I started from scratch, I thought I would love to have someone else's eyes on it.
It's a great idea. And I think I'm going to, who's all into social media and gets the motivation behind a product like this. I want to bring on somebody qualified in other ways than I am. I've already looked at your copy, and I'm going to share my ideas in a minute, but I'm thinking of potentially Alex or Angie or Cindy. I know we're all super savvy about these things. So if any of you want to come on, that'd be cool. All right. So let me go to, it's called The Little Stock Shop. Yeah.
Well, I think we've updated we were in the midst of changing things over. It's called the content bar. So.
Content bar. All right. Gotcha. That's right. I saw no. And by the way, I looked while I was with my dog, Jesse, at the vet. I was checking out your site on mobile, and it looks good there. One thing I did notice while I was looking at that, though, on the offer page, you still got some old stuff underneath the offer, like the specials from January. So just
I think I updated those, but it must have been
after we talked. Something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. So just in case you haven't cleared that out, that's an easy thing to forget that it's there. All right. Cool. So let's look at the page. Now, what I'm going to do is just look as if I kind of don't know everything you just shared. But how would I have gotten to this page before we click over? An email, well, am I on your list, or is this?
Yeah, so Instagram, my email list, possibly Facebook, and hopefully organic search at some point. So.
And what kind of, if it was organic search, what kind of things am I typing in?
I would say content planning, simplifying Instagram, ways to make Instagram easier.
Yeah. So the avatar you're looking for is someone who's an active social media user, specifically Instagram. 100% we're focused on Instagram.
I think we have put a big focus on Instagram. I think it's someone who is, I think just because Instagram is what's hot right now, in terms of, but I think that's one of my concerns, though, is I don't think Instagram will be, I don't think it'll be the same thing, right, as it is now. It's going to be like Facebook at some point. So that's why we have tried to add on email support, other marketing strategy, that sort of thing.
One thing I'll say about that, that's a similar issue, say, Mike Renard has with what he does. But he almost has the opposite problem. It's not that he's afraid Facebook's going to go away or be less relevant soon, but that is always a factor for any platform. However, what he teaches really applies to any platform. So he teaches, basically story-driven copy, how to write short copy, story-driven. Calls it story mapping. We're doing another training with him March 5th. There's the existing one it was our most popular training last year. So you definitely want to check that out. As a copywriter, you'll love it. It really applies well to email. Point is, though, he's known as a Facebook ads expert. And so that gets tied in with it. But we always want to make clear, this isn't just for Facebook. It just happens to work really well on Facebook right now, right? So I would focus more on the idea that, hey, you want to put out great content. You want to make sure you have a stunning photo, because we know that's what stops people on social media, but it's the copy that makes them go past just the image. Just getting likes on an image isn't going to help you sell your product or build relationships. It's what you do with that attention once you get it that makes the difference, right? So you might want to incorporate that kind of language, and don't be afraid to educate your user a little bit about what they need to accomplish if they're posting a bunch on Instagram and other platforms, because often they don't know from a marketing standpoint. You know, you're an expert in marketing because you write sales email copy for a living, so you understand what moves the needle. So use that authority, express that muscle, flex that muscle, and let people know, hey, you might not even know why you need this, but let me tell you why it's really important to have the image plus the copy.
I think that's the missing link too, that I'm feeling. I think in the story, I got so much into just getting your Instagram post up, but I think that's exactly where I want to go, is how important your copy is to what you're doing across all platforms.
Okay, great. So here it is, the landing page. So I always say, a true writer, copywriter craves the harsh critique, and that doesn't mean we want to be mean. We're going to be very honest always, and so that's what's the most helpful. But this looks good. It's very cool to look at. I mean, it looks beautiful. It looks pro. It looks modern. Start planning your Instagram posts faster than it takes to fall in love on The Bachelor. So cute. So you're speaking the language. And by the way, I noticed in your avatar, the way you talked about it, specifically for women. Yeah.
I would say, yeah, I don't think many men would, when it comes in terms of photography. So yes, I would say it's primarily for women.
All right, cool. So tired of wasting time on Instagram, create a unique and beautifully branded grid in less time. Write words that have your audience saying, this is so me, and gain access to the marketing strategy you need, all at the price point you can afford. Very clear to me. I got no problem there. I like the photo. Take back your life 1 hour at a time. This is where I'm not as sure that that's a top pain point for your avatar, is that, oh my God, it's taking me forever to find a cool photo. And it might be, I'm not that person, so I'll let others weigh in on that. Now, this is where it threw me a little bit, where he says, imagine if you could, and the first one is join a strong and supportive community. What do you mean by that?
Well, I think there's a lot of questions as to what works and what doesn't work, not only on Instagram, but across email copy, click rates. So okay. I think that's where I was going with that.
Meaning, so that's part of what they get when they join, is that there's a community of users.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. So here's what I've learned the hard way. It took me so long to, even though I was told better and logically knew better, to not sell community. You can't sell community. It can be a bullet, but it should be the bottom one.
Okay.
And believe me, Brenna, I did this for so long because we have such an amazing community here. I was so proud of it. I would always tell people, you got to join Copy Chief. You won't believe how cool the people are. And people are like, don't invite me to a party where I don't know anybody. That doesn't excite me, especially introverted copywriters. So sell the useful thing, sell the tangible thing they're buying. And the community is a bonus, totally a bonus, because a lot of people, frankly, won't use it. They'll love having access to the photos. They'd love if they can totally just swipe your copy, or have like all these little, basically templates that you've written that they could fill in the blanks and make it more about them. Like, those are the things I think that's an easy choice for them to buy. But a supportive community might be like, if they have a question and they happen to stumble in there and they're like, oh my God, these people are awesome. Then it becomes, you hear this all the time. It's like, I came for the content, I stayed for the community. That's the kind of thing that happens. But I promise you, telling them they're going to love the community is not going to help sales. Fair enough. All right. Yep. So use the hashtag your idea. Okay. I can tell the other people are chomping at the bit. I can feel them, but man, these look beautiful. And is this, I guess my biggest question is this the pain point, staring at your phone for hours on end? And I think these people want to kind of be staring at their phone a lot. Like, do you feel like, is this a known issue for you? Is your avatar somebody who's like, oh my God, it takes me forever to keep up with Instagram?
I think yes, although I think now, and once again, that's why I want your critique before I rewrite this. I think a lot of people have trouble, like when I've gone in and been doing my market research and with our members, I think a lot of them suffer with what to write, how to write it, how to be intriguing, how to get people engaging on it. So I would say now I would say I need to change that to be something more of what I think it's a mixture too of trying to create, especially on Instagram, words and images that connect and make sense and that are engaging. So
yeah, and I think what people really want, in my estimation, is their motivation is they want to be the popular one. I mean, why else are they there trying to get likes and followers? And yeah, they're looking at it maybe as a conversion tool, but if they're doing it obsessively, they're really judging it by the engagement they're getting, like you said, right? And so to me, that's a bigger motivation than save time. All right, Alex is throwing daggers at me. So
that's interesting. And well, and then that means my whole premise of my story needs to be changed if that's the motivating factor. So
that's if I'm right, but let's hear from Alex's very, very savvy social media user. So, and a top level copywriter. So here you go.
Hi, Brenna. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Sorry, I just lost like everything that I had on my chat for some reason. I'm not sure why. Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. So I wanted to start just kind of at the top. One of the things that I've been hearing you say while you've been talking about this is I think. So the first thing I want to check is on your market research. So one of the other things I've noticed because, sorry, I'm really excited.
I get to here comes the onslaught of Alex.
Hi. It's hard to slow me down when I don't want to slow down. I really don't want to slow down right now. So, okay. So you've talked a bit about mamas in this. You've talked about women between 30 and 50 looking to ease their social media, email content planning as your target. That's not really as narrow as I would suggest it being. Also, I want to know how you've been talking to your audience. Have you sent them emails and asked them about their struggles? Have you talked to any particular people? Do you just have like one or two case studies? What are you working off of?
Well, I would say I should probably do a case study. I think responses, talking to people, I've sent out surveys. So kind of a mixture of doing market research just simply on Instagram, asking questions. So a combination, but nothing what I would say is very formal. I've just been compiling what I've been hearing. So.
Okay. I know that Kevin doesn't like it when we pimp things, but I'm going to talk about Ryan Levesque's ask method a little here because I think that, oh my God, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
It's perfectly appropriate. That's why I love ask. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Especially when you're selling community. And I know we don't sell community, but what we do sell is a group of people who have the same thought patterns as you do. And the only way to sell that is to make sure that you're using the same language they use. I know that in a lot of this you are, and I can see, you're saying, right, you're talking about, it's scrolling. Okay. Is your time worth $35 a month if it saves you from feeling overwhelmed? Why am I reading from that section? Sorry. Let me move a little bit. Okay. So deep breath. Okay. Are you frustrated from staring at your phone for hours on end instead of hanging with your family? Just going to look at that sentence really quickly. Because I think that there's a lot that we can learn from what you are saying and what you could be saying. So are you frustrated? Are they saying frustrated, or are they saying out of your mind, pulling your hair out? Are you climbing the walls? Are you, crapping yourself with indecision from staring at your phone for hours on end? Probably not, because we all do that and we love it, right? Yeah. Instead of hanging with your family. Is hanging with your family the issue because you haven't identified that these are family women, that these are like entrepreneurs who have kids? What if we're talking like dinks who live entirely online, right? So if you've got people, I mean, my partner and I will talk on Slack from across the room to each other. And we're not alone with that. We're not alone with that. So is it hanging out with your family and not being on your phone, or is it quality time? Is it the things that you want to have time for? It's probably the things you want to have time for. And that's probably not just hanging with your family. You transitioned right then into a family view. So you're a busy mama trying to get your business off the ground and keep the family on track. Are you sure? Just want to make sure that that's really who you want to
so
talk
let's ask Brenna and say, obviously that's the avatar in your mind, Brenna, when you wrote this. Is that why that avatar, I guess, is the general question.
I would say yes. I would say most of our, well, once again, this is what I wrote before the membership actually opened. So I think at that time I was thinking, yes, these are, busy moms that are trying to, simplify their overall content process. Now, interestingly enough, I would say that's not necessarily the case. So I would need to put thought into, calling out to the right person for sure.
Yeah, sure, totally. And again, that's why it's great to have a place like this where you can just think through sort of behind the scenes at Copy Chief, like who do we think is really using this? And by the way, I just want a side note, a really cool thing we do here is what we call an objection session, where you can post up, hey, here's my offer. Here's my avatar. If you're them, why wouldn't you buy this, right? And people will tell you things. I think I can go to Google Images and download all the free images I want. Aren't I allowed to use those? Oh, so that becomes a point like, did you know you could go to jail for using an image that isn't rights free, right? Like think, oh, wow, that's actually a big selling point now. So just so you know, like this process is all for us to help you go, oh, I didn't think, because that's why we say nobody writes alone. There's no way we can think of every objection or everything. Exactly. So that's part of this process here. And so what have you learned, you said, since then, because say you wrote this and then it opened and then now you're getting real-time sort of feedback. What are you learning about the avatar?
Well, I think, and I guess maybe that's part of my problem. I feel like it's a mix. I feel like we have a big mix of, I would say that, and probably because of my age and the age of my partner, business partner, I'm in my 40s, she's in her 50s. So I feel like we're attracting maybe an older audience, some maybe not the kind of younger. So I would say that's something that I've learned. And once again, I feel like I've learned a lot that a lot of these people, I feel like a lot of people that have joined are people that I have been a very warm audience and who like me and my writing to some degree. And I'm trying to figure out how they can infuse more personality and story into their own writing and copy to attract people.
Yep, I love that. To me, that's good news because I think that's a better, a more heartier service you can offer. And I think what people want is you to sort of make sure they look good, not only with the photos, but with the copy. So let me ask you, sorry, Alex, I know you had so much more to say, but I'm curious. And just for time, I want to make sure we get to the what if you did this instead part of it.
I want to do something. I want to just talk really quickly about something high level as well, if that's cool.
Yep, please go ahead.
One of the questions that you specifically asked on your thread, Brenna, was you weren't sure if it was too long for the dollar price. $35 is probably not too long for $35 because it's a $35 membership, but you want that much higher on the page. I had to look for that. And I probably would have lost interest about halfway down the page if I didn't know what I was signing up for. We don't want to have the price hidden in any way.
Yeah.
Especially when it's relatively low. If you're paying less than $100 a month, you want to have that.
It's a screaming bargain, right? Exactly. And I also noticed there's a section down below that said, so what is the content bar anyway? I'm like, that would be way up top to me too. The good news is, Brenna, I think you can have a third or less of this copy you have now to sell this product at this price point. And for what it is, it's obviously a really cool thing that any Instagram user should want, or anybody working. By the way, there are several of the supers, including Angie Coley, I think, have signed up with services who just take things out of their brain and make them Instagrammable for their business, right? This is a way you're doing this is sort of done with you. It's like, hey, I'm going to give you this content that you can basically Mad Lib. You remember Mad Libs? It's like, I'm going to basically it's like the 60-second sales. Like, it's like, I'm going to give you fill it in with your information and voila, you've got great copy, right? This is, you're kind of doing that for them, plus the images, which is awesome. And now in the community, you're probably already doing this, but you can talk more about different ideas and ways to market and ways to have a theme for the month or whatever it is. Like, just let the community all share things that are working for them on Instagram. And now it becomes like Copy Chief, like it's oh, the trainings are great, but beyond that, it's the discussions happening around the trainings and those ideas with the members that make it like through the roof valuable.
Agreed.
Is that kind of what's happening?
And yeah, I feel like in terms of the group, I'd like to get more. I feel like it's a lot of me, and I get a good response, but I'd like to have more. So I think that's a great idea, is encouraging people to talk about what's working for them.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something that I want to change. But yeah, and like I said, I think I feel a little frustrated, and that's why I'm excited to have all this feedback, because I feel like at $35 for what we're giving is like amazing. So, but like I said, this is the kind of tweaks I think I need to help propel it.
Cool. I'm going to let Alex say whatever else she wants to say, which good luck choosing, Alex. And because, again, this is why Alex is one of our great ambassadors, because she just loves to help and has a lot of ways to help. And I'm also going to bring on Angie and then Cindy. Is it okay to keep going, Brenna?
Oh yeah, thank you so much.
Kind of over time, but I know this is valuable and I'm learning too. So I think let's keep going.
Okay, so yes, for sure. The story in the intro section, before you get to the actual payoff of the product, is too long. You're right there. I think you can bring it. It shouldn't be too hard to edit it out, because you have a lot of words in there that aren't pulling their weight. I think if you apply a lot of your Instagram captioning to the page and find these big ideas that you have in these paragraphs and bring them down to that one sentence, that you'll, one, have more interest off of the people who are looking for that particular service, of making sure that things are extremely impactful. Two, you're going to get people to the point really quicker and down to the CTA. And three, you're going to, I mean, you were talking about you're looking for people in your 40s and 50s, really. You're not so much looking at 20s and 30s, right? So less of the millennial view, more of the Xer view. Sorry, we forgot about you.
The Xers are so boring, though. That's the problem. I just wrote an email about that.
Xers are boring. We are kind of boring.
Xers are the boring generation. The millennials have all the cool stuff.
You're just nihilists. It's okay.
We'll get our time.
We respect
We'll be
that.
like retro cool soon.
But I think that is for sure something that you can improve on in that area. We talked about restructuring so that your call to action and your price are more readily available. I do like that.
How far down would you have the call to, I mean, like if we're writing in sections, like
honestly, immediately below the fold.
Yeah.
Okay.
It should be the first thing you see when you're scrolling.
And not the only time they see it, but it's like if they're ready, if you're marketing to get them to the pages, then it's job. They're just looking for that button to get going.
Mm-hmm. So if you've found the right title and the right subtitle for this, which I fully believe you can do, especially considering the service you're selling, that should have them sold within the first 3 sentences, and immediately under that, $35 a month, click here to join.
Well, and I guess what I'm running into is, okay, benefits versus the features, because sometimes like I put something in and they're like in Copy Chief and they were saying, I don't even know what this is. But then I'm trying to balance out not only benefits versus features, but also the fact that we give so many things, how to condense this into a way where I can message it very succinctly. And I think that's been one of my issues, because there is so much value. You have pictures, you have, hashtags, you have content calendars, you have, email prompts, weekly email prompts, and so if anyone has any ideas on this now or later, like
how to had more about sorry.
I don't know if you saw in the chat scroll. Hi, Angie.
Hi there.
So in the chat scroll, I left a 2-question survey that is really simple. Send out an email or, tag people, send the message to people individually if you're worried about response rate. But it's one that we use with one of our like $15,000 coaching programs on Jeff's team, where it's like, what is your favorite part of this? And let them tell you in their own words where they're getting value from you, because that's what you can immediately turn around and use to attract those same people that are already paying you. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And then the second thing the second question on that one is, what do you want to see more of? So it's not an invitation to criticize your program. It's an invitation for them to tell you what they want to pay you to do next. You see what I mean?
Mhm.
So that's a good way to get value out of people. And then I just wanted to add in super quickly that I'm someone that could potentially use this as I'm out there marketing stuff, but social media is always an afterthought for me because I don't want to spend my time scrolling. So like when I look at all of the pink and the you're a busy mama and you're getting, I was like, okay, well, this is not for me. But then when you started talking about easy content planning and how to get more out of your hashtags, I was like, oh wait, maybe it is for me. So just something to think over.
So then from saying that too, from your perspective, going more into the actual features of it then, because that's what you said attracted you to some degree.
Not necessarily. If you give me the feature, you must also dimensionalize it and help me understand what that means. Because if you just talk about hashtags, okay, you're going to visibly watch my eyes glaze over if you start talking about hashtags and IG and
But if you're talking about
slide into my DMs.
like
those
posting a
bullet
picture of a
statements
beach
where
smoothie.
everything is what it is and what the benefit is. So hashtags, so you can get organic traffic with every post.
Which means, yep.
Yes, those, because when you word it that way, you're killing two birds with one stone. The big idea I had for you is I would love to see as soon as I land on the page that this is for business owners. Because when we land on the page and we're talking about The Bachelor, I don't know if this is for my sister-in-law who just likes to be popular and she's a stay-at-home mom. Even all the copy until it gets down to business, and even once it does start with business, it's really heavy on mom and family, and I still think it could be for my sister-in-law instead of for me. So I would love to see you probably just look at your list and think, who am I attracting more of, and go all in there. If it is for the business person, what they want out of it, they want their time back for their business, at least as much as for their family. And what they want, if they're a business owner, like I'm posting on Instagram every day now. If anybody looks at my account, it doesn't suck anymore. And the reason I'm doing that is not because I want a beautiful account. It's because I'm list building, because I'm branching into information products. So like the reason I'm using beautiful images and the reason I care about my Instagram copy is not because of those things that I would purchase. What I would be purchasing is the idea that I would become an Instagram influencer in my niche. And who do I want to be like? That is the thing you want to find out. And then you want to brand all of this to show you my membership program is the vehicle that's going to take your ugly, embarrassing account and make you Jasmine Star or whatever. That's, I would love to see you do that for your specific avatar that I know Alex and Angie have also been talking about, how you could really hone in a little bit more. And I think that's going to free up some of this long copy because it's, maybe you're trying to talk to too many different people. And in terms of the pain points, I think time is a big pain point. But also it's the insecurity you feel and how you feel like everybody else is killing it on Instagram except you because you're not posting. You're not posting because your stuff's not good enough. You don't even know how to make your stuff good enough. And so you're stuck not doing what you need to be doing to grow a successful business. And, why now? Now you're ready to do something about it. That's kind of broad overview stuff, but it's things that I would want to see immediately and then carry me all the way through. And totally agree. Underneath the first headline, I should be able to buy it for $35.
Great stuff. Thank you, Cindy. So real quick, Brenna, I think, and again, when I say you can cut out a lot of this copy, a lot of the copy to me, what it's doing is you're making your best guess that this is how their day goes and these are what their frustrations are. And you're already kind of learning that may have been a little off. Plus it's just dangerous copy to write, because if it is off, kind of like Angie was saying, it's, and Cindy was, this is my sister-in-law, this isn't for me. You can lose more sales. But so what I would do for your next test, Brett, is I'd strip this down to one block that basically this, like what is this thing? Glad you asked. Like you don't have to think for them, oh, maybe this month you do this and equate it. This is all clever stuff, but probably better for email and things like that than the sales page, because you can sell them out of the sale, like by bringing up too many different ways of like, oh, I thought I knew what it was and now I'm confused. So to me, it would be like pretty top bar like you have now. Make sure you're using that real estate above the fold to make sure people know what it is and why they should want it. So again, where the bachelor thing is cute and clever and probably on point for your avatar, it's not doing anything to make me go, oh my God, this is my dream come true. It's just, hey girlfriend, we're gonna have a chat. But for what the problem you're solving, this is like breakthrough health cure level length copy. Like you just need all this, right? So
you always hear long form sales copy. Like I said, this is the first sales page I've ever written. So I just went all in.
You've got to match that to the pricing though. Like the length and the pricing are definitely correlated, and you can, like Kevin said, you can unsell someone by going too much into things. And like I just want to reiterate those bullets. Like if you have a really killer feature, it's, you know, here's the feature so you can do X, which means you will get Y. Like dimensionalize that and make sure that I understand this cool thing will lead to this. Cool. Way, show me the light. I am sold.
Yeah. And like I said before, every single word you write makes you a better writer. So nothing got wasted there. It's just you don't need it now. And you can use it. You can cut and paste it into emails, and now you get a new email series, right? You're good to go. But I think the less you say on this and just make it super clear how it works, what I'll get, why it'll make my life better, and how I'll look better on Instagram, that's going to be what sells it. The other thing I'd love to see is actual screen caps from Instagram accounts before and after.
Okay, we have some of those.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so show me how I actually use it, because this is kind of like this fantasy land where, oh, well, how do I know it's going to look this good on my Instagram? Like these pictures are great here, but maybe I'm not a savvy enough user. You know, I don't know. Because, you know, for instance, like you give me an image, I load it into Instagram, and the first thing they tell me to do is choose a filter. And I'm like, am I supposed to not use a filter? Yeah, little things like that where it's like, forget the filters, forget all those choices, you know, just know that your photo's ready to look sharp when people see it on your Instagram feed, right? You know, to me, that's a benefit, right? So let's just not assume they're like super savvy users and they just want to look brilliant. And if they match with the aesthetic and they love the fact that you're basically going to feed them copy to use, and they don't have to think about that. My wife, for instance, would love this. Like she's a Hunter Douglas certified dealer now. And so she's selling blinds and window shades and all these things. And she never knows what to put on Facebook. So a service like this she would love it, especially if she knew there was a category like home interior. And she's like, oh my God, for $35 a month, I could get new home interior style photos plus other eye-catching stuff. And Brenna's going to show me how to phrase things to make them sound like me, because my husband doesn't understand how I want to sound on even though he's a copywriter, you know. So just, you know, those are the things that I think are going to move the needle for you. So this has been a fire hose of stuff, but the good news is, first of all, we got this recording, and when you see the Chief Chat replay, we'll have all the comments posted underneath it as well.
Oh, good. That's what I was going to ask.
Yep.
So you'll see my homework for you.
There's always a ton of gold in there. So go through all those and simplify this, strip it down. And I think it's going to be great. And just let us know how it goes.
Thank you so much. I'm very appreciative.
Yeah, we appreciate you. Thank you, Alex, Angie. Thank you, Cindy. Great stuff. Really appreciate you guys. Thanks everybody for another great Chief Chat. I will see you in the forums and see you on the next chat. Bye, everybody.